Hi everyone. Hi, hi. Oh my god. I see many people here joining. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the 21st episode of INIT Talks. Oh my god, very nice to have you all here today. I'm Elz, the host, and today we have a special guest. Why I'm saying it's special? Because we have Emma right now, and she is currently competing in the US online qualifier for the upcoming Global Esports Games. Guess what? Global Esports Games. Hi! Alright. Hi, Emma. Hi, hi. Very nice to have you here today in the Indie Talks. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Got super happy. So, how you doing today? Happy almost weekend, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good day, busy day. I'm actually like taking this on my lunch break, so still
Oh,
have work to do after this, but it's a dreary day outside, so glad to be here doing this. It's something exciting.
oh wow. Okay, so she's having an interview during the lunch break. Okay,
Yep.
that's very efficient.
Yeah,
That's very efficient. Okay, I will try to turn it up and let me know if my sound is slightly better now. So I put my microphone a little bit closer to my mouth. A very good lunch break. Like imagine guys doing a podcast while having a lunch break. I don't know if I could ever do that.
It's all good. Maybe.
Oh my god, by the way, DTR underscore cars. By the way, hi hi, welcome to INIT Talks. Very nice to have you here today. And Ash, hi hi, welcome in Ash. Welcome. I have a new friend joining the INIT Talks today, Emma, and she's playing a lot in ACC. So, disclaimer, this INIT Talks will be all about ACC and we will talk more about Emma, what she does in sim racing, and maybe you can tell me a bit about what you do on daily basis. Like, are you like a full time sim racer, or are you like having another things to do outside the gaming world? I must say.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not a full-time sim racer. I would say it's very much a hobby for me, but something that I've been pursuing about every day. I definitely drive every day for like the past 3 years or so.
Oh, wow.
But I do work in the automotive industry now. I originally worked in the film industry, so I made the switch actually a couple months ago. So now I work as a brand partnerships coordinator with an automotive company. So I get to work with cars every day, which is pretty exciting. But I got into sim racing. I originally did Formula One 2021, which I would not
Oh.
recommend learning how to sim drive on that game, but that's what I did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right,
And that's
right.
how I got the bug, and I've just been playing ever since. And I've been very lucky to make a lot of friends in esports, a lot of friends in the motorsport world that has all just kind of helped this become something that I like to pursue.
Yeah. So every day, your world is all about sim racing, motorsport. From the day you wake up and until the day like you're going to bed, you're about to sleep. Every day, every time, it's all about cars. I must say.
It's all about cars now, which is pretty exciting. So I get the opportunity to drive a lot of cool cars and talk to people about cars. I'm certainly not a petrol head myself. I really try appreciate cars. I
Mm-hmm.
love them a lot. Um, but it's really cool to work at a place where everyone else is
Right.
incredibly knowledgeable and passionate. So,
Yeah, I feel like sim racing and motorsport is like a great place to be. Like it's a really great community. Everybody is like
oh yeah.
very helpful. If you have question, even if
Mhm.
it's a dumb question, people will
Oh yeah.
try their best, to help
It
you out.
took me probably 2 years to figure out how to actually communicate like brake bias stuff
Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
the percentages, it didn't make sense to me. There's a lot of stuff that still doesn't make sense. I'm still learning every single day, but I
Mm-hmm.
have found the sim racing community to be extremely welcoming. I was a little bit nervous about that at first,
Mm-hmm.
because I used to play a lot of Call of Duty and it wasn't quite a great place for women at the time.
Right.
But so I was a little bit nervous coming to sim racing, but I have just absolutely met some of the best people. I'm in like the one of the best leagues I could possibly ever imagine having found.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been a blast so far.
Right. Yeah. I'm at first when I want to switch my career path, I must say. Getting into the gaming industry, I was like really really nervous. I was so afraid because everybody knows that this industry is all about boys, it's a man's world, something like that, you know. And it kind of scares me at first, but yeah, throughout the time, I feel like I found a lot of great people, and surprisingly, I found like a lot of girls here, like who likes to play, and I was like, I'm feeling more safe. That's how I feel, you know. Not
Yeah,
like more
definitely.
safe, but it's more like welcoming to me.
Hmm. And I like about sim racing is so much of it, you have to build your own community in a way. I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of like hot lapping and just was, driving by myself, but you're
Yeah.
not going to be as good of a racer if you're not actually racing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to kind of branch out and find my own league. And, there's plenty of leagues that I just knew were not going to be for me. And then I found the one that I'm in, and I've raced with other people now, and it was just a great place to get started, one that was rookie friendly because I was terrible when I first started sim racing.
Same.
It was really
Same here.
bad. And it's been cool to see the growth of not only my own driving, but everyone in my league as well.
Yeah, same here. Trust me, when I first got into this, I have no idea about a racecraft. I don't understand the concept of understeer, oversteer. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, I
And
am
it
so
was cool
lost.
to me. It was like learning a whole new language, like literally and figuratively. You have to learn so much about yourself and how you drive and how, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a notoriously late breaker, and you'll see in my telemetry all the time that I'm really fast on entry and terrible on exit,
Mm-hmm.
which is not how you're supposed to drive. That's how
Right,
I
right.
instinctually drive. So it's a lot of analyzing yourself and analyzing your own data, but then
Mm-hmm.
there's also other people on track, so you can't hit other people. So
Right.
yeah, it's been a great and amazing learning experience, and I'm so glad I started doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like sim racing is one of the hobby that is like that. I don't know. I feel like sim racing has a deep learning curve, so it takes time for everyone to actually get good at it. So maybe that's also the reason why I'm staying in this hobby for quite a long time, like 4 or 5 years now, I think. Because every day, like, I'm learning something new. Every day I
Oh yeah.
feel like I'm a newbie. I'm learning something. Oh, this is new, you know?
Yeah, like every track, you can always just try a new track you've never driven before, and there's something you're going to learn about the track. You can always just change cars. It's
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
Yeah. And speaking about the sim racing part of your life, which game or sim that you play most in it?
Um, Driving time definitely be the original Assetto Corsa. My league is all on Assetto Corsa, but
Mm-hmm.
recently I've also been doing ACC a lot. So I did the Ferrari Esports series
Oh
this
wow.
and I didn't make it past the qualifier for the US. I made it past the hot lap portion, which was a huge achievement for me because I'm not that fast. But and it was good in the race. I finished P7 in both of my races, but only I think the top two from each one went. I definitely didn't make
Ah.
it. But it was good to. That was my first real taste of being competitive on ACC,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently ACC just suits my driving style a lot better. I do have iRacing too, but I am just I'm not a fan of the MX-5, and I know I have to like get through
Uh,
that stage to get
yeah.
further in iRacing. So it's been, and I have my league races every week, so I focus on my league races when I have time, or if I'm doing a competition like this, I focus on that. So
Mm-hmm.
iRacing is definitely there. I was lucky enough to actually the Canadian Esports Federation. I think they're still doing it actually. U.S. citizens and Canadians can get iRacing for a year for a
Mm-hmm.
$10 donation to the
Oh.
program. So I just donated $10 and got
Oh
free
yeah.
iRacing for a
Free
year.
racing.
So it's been great to just be able to try it out, and I definitely want to get more into it, but
It
takes a
takes
while.
time. Yeah. Because I think for me, it was quite a challenge to switch from ACC to iRacing. Back and forth. I cannot do that.
Yeah, I think that I mean, the way that I approach it, I just am kind of just assuming I'm not going to be great at either.
Mm-hmm.
So that I
Right,
just
right.
like join a different game. There's definitely stuff to learn. Like I'm not good with tires and iRacing at all. I will pretty much I'm so used to just like stomping it out of the pits in AC that the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time in I just destroyed my tires before I even left the pit lane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely don't race enough to be able to speak on it, but
Right,
it's
right.
switching from AC to ACC is a huge switch too,
Hmm.
because AC you're dealing with very old stuff, even with mods, which I have plenty of mods in.
Right.
But I don't know, something about ACC just kind of clicks with my driving, but yeah, I drive AC more.
More on AC. Right, right.
Mhm.
And here even say it's still very good the result. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know some drivers are getting into a league race or a big event trying to win, but I like to
Yeah.
take it as
And
one step at a time, you know?
oh yeah, I when I started sim racing, I knew I started 3 years ago from nothing. So it was like I
Right.
knew I was not going to be winning any races. I didn't even know what a racing line was. I had a general idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around racing kind of, but I would watch Formula One as a kid, and it was like, oh,
Oh.
that's really cool. But I didn't pay attention to any of that stuff. I could not
Right.
tell you Monza T1. I didn't know anything about that, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So starting sim racing has really been it was a humbling experience for sure because I don't like to be bad at things, but I had to be bad for a really long time. And honestly, my goal was always just finish the race. For the
Right.
first 3 or 4 seasons of my racing league, all my focus was finishing.
Mm-hmm.
And even just finishing the race, I was still picking people off because some people would just like quit or just not
Right.
finish the race for whatever reason. I've only not finished one race, and that was because I accidentally got my connector cable between my direct drive wheel and my pedals caught
Mm-hmm.
between the pedals. So every time I put on the brakes, I was trying to sever the brake
Oh,
wire.
wow.
So that didn't work. I had a mechanical failure in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just always tell people like don't worry about winning. Like that's why my league is so cool, just because the community is so great that we're just
Right.
having a good time racing, and it's just fun and exciting, and it's still very competitive, but it's not anything
Yeah.
crazy.
But honestly, yeah, it's nice to set the goal as finishing the race, especially if you just start getting into it. Because I feel like a lot of people are focusing a lot on the win, even if this is a new sim for them. It's a new game. It's just released, and they just like focusing on that. But
Mhm.
yeah, focusing on finishing the race is a great start to step up your game. That's how I see it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And my other goal was don't crash anyone out. And then my very first league race ever,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was on the racing line, but apparently I wasn't. We were at Laguna Seca, and I was getting lapped, and the two
Uh,
guys in the lead were fighting, and I accidentally got in their way, and I wrecked one of them out and took away his only win. So
oh my
sorry.
god. Yeah. But
I
everybody
still
made a mistakes, okay?
it was the
Everybody.
worst. Yeah, yeah, and I was just like, and
Exactly.
that was like, I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that to you. And we still joke about it now, 3 years later. Like it's
Still
fine.
joke about it. Oh, here Ash is asking in the chat favorite car to drive on ACC. That's a good question.
For me, it's definitely the Ferrari.
Hmm.
I got so used to it from the Ferrari Esports series that I don't know, I really
Mm-hmm.
like it. The Mustang has been interesting to I had to completely kind of relearn my driving style for that car because it's
Mm-hmm.
very same. And I would say probably my least favorite is the McLaren, just because for whatever reason it just does not work for my driving style very well. So Ferrari
Huh.
for sure. Or the Porsche. I like the
Or the
Porsche too.
Porsche. Yeah, I like the Porsche. Yeah. But I haven't actually like tried driving fast the Mustang, and yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
It's definitely
I only
interesting.
drive the Mustang on iRacing, and well, in iRacing, I feel like the Mustang is so dead in the rain, but I don't know how it drives in ACC. Maybe it's a good car, maybe
To
it's not.
me, I just came out of a TCR series and a Assetto Corsa, and the driving style is similar enough to TCRs actually, for me anyway,
Right,
that
right.
that's how I've been able to kind of like get a hold of it a little bit, but it's very different. It's been a steep learning curve because I've never driven the Mustang before this.
Right. Is it like a big challenge for you for now? Because for the US online qualifier, I believe we'll be driving the Mustang in Kota.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So it is Mustang and Coda. So. yeah, I just, I was actually practicing code it in the Ferrari, and then when it was announced that it was a Mustang, had to make the switch. So
Mm-hmm.
it's worked out. I mean, now I'm faster in the Mustang than I was in the Ferrari on this track, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done a lot of coda hot lapping in ACC, but I thankfully already knew the track because we raced it a bunch in my league. So it
Mm-hmm.
was nice not to have to, you know, kind of learn the track as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's come around, and once you get the hang of it, you can kind of adjust your driving style to suit it a little bit more, which is what I'm still trying to do and still trying to find
Right.
plenty of time. There's plenty of time to be found.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the pro driver, like the pro esports driver, they spend like 10 hours in the sim, like doing like
Oh yeah.
a lot of drive, hundreds or thousands of laps. So, yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Good.
Everybody, all of us will get there, guys. All of us will get
Yeah.
our pro license one day.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about like to me it's like you can always improve, and that's the cool thing about sim racing. Even the guy who is
Mm-hmm.
or girl, could be a girl, in the
Mm-hmm.
first place period could always find time.
Right.
There's always a way to find the new limit. And ACC, every time there's a new patch,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get your time set to see if you're still the fastest in that car. So it's interesting.
Yeah. The updates is kind of like stressing the
Hmm.
drivers sometimes, especially like I know someone who compete in the first screen to speed. Okay, so basically we were having the screen to speed in Las Vegas 2 years ago, I believe. And yeah, it was like basically the first event for the girls to have like
Hmm.
oh an offline event, like you're racing on the side with the sim racing setup and everything. And I know there's like one girl who is like really quick on ACC. She's more like an ACC driver. And yeah, she was like she told me like you know what, I'm so stressed out every time I'm having this big event, like big event on ACC coming, and then there's a patch update. Everybody will stress out, like they need
Yeah.
to redo the setup and everything. Like, oh god, it's so
Mhm.
stressful.
Yeah, that's where it's like when you're pro level, every single little setup change can make such a difference. And when you're not as good, you can just, there's so many fundamentals. If you just have the fundamentals down, you can get a pretty good lap time. And then the fine tuning stuff is where you can really get thrown off by that. Because I
Right.
did the Porsche Esports Challenge as well. And that was an in-person, they had online qualifiers, but it was also in person. So you had to go to the Porsche Experience Center, and they
Wow.
had a PS4 setup with Gran Turismo, and a Fanatec setup, and you had to just jump in the rig and try to set your best time on basically new equipment or unfamiliar equipment. So
Yeah.
I encourage people, if there's any like free events like that around you, to try that, because it's really good to like practice being in I guess, a high stress, high excitement environment, and still see if you can set the lap time, because
Right.
it definitely affected. I was 2 seconds faster at my house, and then I went and I was a lot slower, but
Yeah.
eventually, got around to it. But
Right. But I think you, me, and everyone who race in the Screen to Speed Vegas are lucky because we get to experience that. Because it's not like every day you get like an offline event, or we can go to an offline event.
yeah,
And what I learned in this offline event is that the game is not just about driving fast, but who can adapt to the setup
yeah,
quickly.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
that's more like the game than just trying to drive fast for me, and I feel like I'm so noob on that. Like I need
Yeah,
more experience.
it's the same with kind of like hot lapping versus racing as well. Like I started and I was only doing hot laps.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought I was getting good and whatever. And then I joined my first race, and as soon as there's other cars where other actual people are driving them, it's completely different. So that's why people always told me join a league as fast as you can. And I was like, no, I have to be faster first. And
That's
if
me
I
at
could tell
first.
myself
Yeah.
anything, like, don't wait. Just join a league.
Mm-hmm.
You will learn racecraft, and you'll also be getting faster, and it'll really help you in the long run.
That's yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. Like really, at first I was like too afraid to race against people because I was like having this mindset I got to be fast first to be able to
Yeah,
race,
too.
you know.
Hmm.
But trust me, everyone here in the chat, it's not the right mindset. Sometimes you just have to throw yourself into the race because in the end, the the experience that you get on the track when you're racing is the most important. It's more
For sure.
important than just doing a hot lap in a solo practice.
Yep, absolutely. And
Yeah.
like when it's into tire deg and stuff like that, like we've had races where it was so much fun because everyone's tires were absolutely gone. So
Mm-hmm.
sliding around, you had to just see who was going to survive the race, and it just adds another element to it.
Right. And by the way, I want to get back into our conversation earlier because you're saying that you're starting from F1 2021. And
Yeah.
then you're saying that it's not really recommended for everyone who wants to get into sim racing kind of thing. But I think in my, because I'm starting from Gran Turismo even. So
Hmm.
basically both of us, we can say that we are starting from the sim gate and then we are moving to the sim, let's say.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I feel like the sim kit can be a great start for everyone. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree with that. I think that I honestly think that Gran Turismo could be better than, I mean, it depends. I mean, I got
Mm-hmm.
into it because I liked Formula One, but at the same time, I have not driven a Formula One car in a race since then. I think it's just helpful to, like, I don't know, it's whatever you want to do, whatever's going to
Right.
motivate you, because it's time in the seat. I mean, I remember I wanted to get good at every single Formula One track,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be, they had like the online leaderboard, and it was like you could be in, it would tell you what percentage you were in. I was like, I'm going to be top 50% for every single track, and then I want to be top 40, and then I want to be top 30. And I
Mm-hmm.
kept doing that, and I just went about my training, I guess, all wrong. Like I literally was like, I'm gonna do turn one of Bahrain 100 times in a row and like see
Wow.
if I could do it. And I literally had a whiteboard and I was like writing down my time every single time.
Oh my
Because
god.
like it doesn't help you. Like you need to do the whole track because part of it is flow and like all this stuff. But I was still way more like I was so motivated to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
it ended up being a good thing. So I would say if there's whether it's a simcade or like it's a something like iRacing or something, it's
Mm-hmm.
whatever motivates you to get in the seat and drive can be useful for sure. Because the
Yeah.
fundamentals don't change. I mean, you either know the racing line or you don't, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what game you're playing. You're going to be
True.
pretty fast either way.
It's true. As long you're having fun in it, that's the most important thing. Doesn't matter like if people say like on the internet outside there like saying this game is better, that game is better. In my opinion, just do what you want. Just
And same with
pick
equipment
any
too.
games.
So many people that I've talked to are like, "Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
need a good setup. I need to have XYZ before I start."
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely helps. Like I started with a Logitech G29 and that was my wheel and I had like a really basic setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was lucky enough that my coworkers gifted me a Fanatec setup, so I didn't
Oh
even have to
wow.
like pay for it, which was
Can I be
amazing.
friends with your coworker?
Yeah, right. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, yeah, oh my god, your coworkers.
So since then, it's been like, as soon as you get a load cell pedal, that's what I always tell people. If you're going to upgrade anything, a
Mm-hmm.
load cell brakes is the best thing to start with. But
Yeah,
people are like convinced that they're not fast because they don't have,
I get
the
it.
top of the line SimiCube setup and stuff. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. There are people who are esports professionals who are racing on a Logitech G29.
Mm-hmm. True.
Know one of them who won like a competition just with a Logitech G29. You can do it. You got to learn it. It's like anything else. I
Yeah,
mean, every sim has things that aren't realistic to real life.
in
You
the
kind
end.
of have to exploit those, and it's the same with the equipment. Like you can make
True.
it work. It's the
Yeah,
motivation. That's all it is.
I agree with you on that. Like, yeah. I mean, when I first won my championship on ACC, I was pretty much using like not like a budget wheel, but pretty much an entry level. I was using the Trustmaster T300, and I mount the wheel to like a hospital tray that I bought on Amazon. Like I
Yeah.
just trying my best to make it work because I won a
Yeah.
race in the end. I won my championship. Then it
Awesome.
it's more like I'm proving it to myself. Like yeah, you don't need an expensive, a fancy equipment to win a race. It's just I don't know. It sounds like an excuse to me. I'm sorry, not like
I
excuse, but
mean,
yeah, you know
no,
what
I
I
agree.
mean.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So
That's my mentality when I started was like I just needed I mean some people do it with controller too, but for me I wanted to actually learn like the not everyone can afford even, you know, a Logitech G29, so don't get me wrong there. But
Mm-hmm.
I would say like if you can, like having a wheel and pedals is actually teaching you stuff because then when you go to real track experiences, it's kind of crazy because even though the feeling's not the same, because obviously the G forces are really there and
Yeah.
stuff, it looks pretty much the same out the dashboard window. And so your brain just kind of like registers it similarly to when you're in the sim.
Mm-hmm.
And then your hand-eye coordination kind of goes with the steering. So I found it to be pretty helpful when I did one track day. So
Yeah. Yeah, in real life,
yeah.
there's a lot of things that kind of break my focus in real life because I tried like, not like a track day, but I tried like driving around the track sometimes or one or
Mhm.
two times. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, you can feel the G-force, which for me kind of helps me to feel the speed going into the corner. While in
Yeah,
sim, I have to rely on my eyes to see if I'm fast or not.
for sure.
Which, yeah, but sometimes I feel like the movement when I'm like driving fast, the movement is kind of breaks my focus. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the G-force, everything.
I don't think about it, but when I'm driving in my sim, I lean at the turns. And I
Oh,
really hate that I do it still.
right.
I don't know why, but you can tell when I'm getting frustrated because I really start to lean over when the turns don't work. And instead of just like adjusting my braking and not getting understeer, I just assume that leaning is gonna just really help.
Really helps you in the sim.
Yeah.
Winning is a state of mind. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of aspect in racing. I feel like the more I'm doing a race, the more I realize it's not just about winning. There are one race that you just focus on learning how to drive around the track. There's like
Yeah.
a race that just goes wrong, everything just wrong, so you just focus on survival, crossing the finish line. So like there's like a lot of aspect in racing, and maybe some people can win every time, but to me, you can't win every time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like we had an endurance series. So we did the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. And so
Oh, the mini
just
Roman.
being able to complete that race, like it was on a work night, whatever, just
Mm-hmm.
got home and I knew I was going to be driving for the next 2+ hours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't even remember what I placed in that race. I probably did pretty close to last, but it was still like an accomplishment. I was still like
Mm-hmm.
sweaty and gross and like finished the race and I was like, that was pretty cool.
That was
What it's
fantastic.
all about. Doesn't I mean, like in my league, it's not usually the same winner, but there's like the same 5 or 6 guys who win every time, and
Mm.
it's really fun for them. But also back in the mid pack, like we have an AM championship and stuff like that, so we just make it our own kind of competition. And I'm pretty competitive, but I know I'm not going to win in my league right now. I need to get a little bit faster, but it's still things can feel like a win that aren't
Things,
actually a win.
yeah, things can feel like a win, cause I've won a race and I've messed up my race. Okay, I've had a good race, I've had a bad race. When I win a race, I'll be happy for 1 hour, 2 hour, like celebrating, like oh my god, feeling ecstatic like that. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, okay, that's it, you know. But I feel like when I had a good race, a good battle, it feels more memorable to me than winning the race. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not that I don't want to win, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of we had a race at Watkins in GT4s,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just racing against one of my friends in my league, and I was pretty new, and I
Mm-hmm.
had never been able to match his pace before, but we had like an amazing battle all through Watkins for like lap after lap, and it was so much fun, and it was like I still think about that battle all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I don't know. I don't even remember what we placed. It didn't matter, but I don't even remember who won the fight honestly because it was just so much fun that afterward we were both just like we both really learned from it, which was the win for us. We were both like that was an awesome fight. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was great. And so yeah, we took our win there. It didn't really matter what happened on track.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, you go faster when you lean forward. 100% trust me, bro. No. In sim racing, you will go faster when you push your wheel. Okay,
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
When you guys sim racing, do you push your wheel or do you guys pull your wheel? It's a question for everyone. And that's for you, Emma. Do you feel it
Hmm.
like when you're driving?
I don't know. I mean, I have a play seat, so I have like a direct drive wheel stuck on a play seat, so it's like very, I wouldn't call it unstable, but it's not the most stable thing. I
Right.
probably push on my wheel more than pull. I
Yeah.
would.
I think I'm pushing. Yeah. I
Mhm.
push more than pull. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on your TikTok. Oh, by the way, guys, Emma is on TikTok. So if you wanna see a sim racing content, and she's also posting her sim racing setup, right? I think it's been on your TikTok, I believe. When you're like, or
Oh
it's
yeah,
on
I
the
just have.
top of the post.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you guys wanna see more sim racing content on TikTok, or if you guys wanna see like who are the female content creator, sim racing content creator on TikTok, Emma is one of them. So give a follow. Emma, can you share your TikTok? Do you mind sharing your TikTok to us?
Yeah, I actually have to remember what it is. I I created my TikTok so that I could just document my sim racing journey.
True.
Um,
She's
so I can.
using TikTok like a diary, like a sim racing
Basically,
diary
which is
journal.
cool because I will forget what I did and then I go back and then I'm like, oh wow, I was really slow back then. I don't know if if it's going to be able to be visible on the screen, but it's Bellissima, so
Bellissima.
BELLISSEMMA dot racing.
Bellissima.racing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's the TikTok. It's not a website, guys. That's the username. So if you guys wanna follow Emma on TikTok, that's the username. And yeah, she's posting her sim racing setup. She's sharing a lot on TikTok, more than me and everyone else. I feel like, cause I don't know. I don't get the TikTok. Why are you choosing TikTok as your social
Um,
media?
I don't like, I tried to do Instagram too, and I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, I can just record it and overlay my video and be done with it. And if there's like a more of a casual, I mean, I personally don't even use TikTok. Actually, I don't watch videos on TikTok. I just upload there. Like I'm not an advocate for TikTok actually, but I
Right.
just make my videos and post it there and I can talk about whatever I want. If I wanted to do, I used to, like I was gaining a lot of momentum last year on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped doing it because the work kind of got in the way and then, fell off a cliff. But I was posting videos where I was just talking about my laps and didn't even have a lap overlay or anything
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people were engaging with that just as much as they do when I show my laps, which I don't think would be the case on Instagram. And YouTube takes a lot of editing time and stuff like that. TikTok,
Yeah.
I've got it kind of down. And there's just so much. I just feel like you have to be so involved with other social media platforms. And my goal isn't to be like a content creator necessarily. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to document my journey because when I was searching for sim drivers, it was always people who were really good. And like you're watching someone do like a crazy lap and you're like, okay, cool. And then you try it and you're 8 seconds slower. And it's like, well, then I must just not be cut out for this. So
Yeah.
I wanted to create a channel that kind of shows the progress.
Hmm.
Like you will not see me winning races on my TikTok, sorry. Maybe someday, but I'm always just like trying to beat my own best time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely comparing my times to other people and stuff, but it's just focusing on my own growth and documenting my races in my league that nobody knows about or really, cares about because it's not like a major esports thing or anything. It's just my friends, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people seem to really enjoy it. And there's definitely, I feel like there's just not too many female creators in the motorsports space in general. It's a very small kind of group. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
also just a huge advocate for women in motorsports. So the more visibility, the better.
Of course.
So I just kind of created the TikTok just so I could have something for myself, mostly for myself, just to look back on, but also
Mm-hmm.
if other people can enjoy it and find inspiration in it. Like people are always trying to beat my time, which isn't that difficult, so please do. But yeah, it's just cool to see. And then I talk to the same people and they help me out with laps and stuff. So it's just another
Right.
way to build the community.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the way you explain, like, why are you making a TikTok account? Why are you posting a video? It makes me feeling relatable. Because yeah, you see a lot of good driver, but you should remember that those top drivers are the top 1% of millions of people who got into sim racing. So it means that most of us, we're quick, we know how to drive, but it's different, like
Mhm.
it's on a
Definitely.
different level. So sometimes people are stressed out about the race. You know what I mean? Like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm not fast. I'm not a pro, something like that. Because yeah, I don't know. For me, just making like yeah, everyone feels relatable. Because in the end, we're like, we are messing up our race, and yes, everybody is on their journey to become a pro.
Mhm. Like you'll see clips on my TikTok of me just spinning out. Like I don't spin out too far, but even that's cool because I can go back and be like, wow, I couldn't even finish a lap before, and now I like, I just totally messed up in this race, and I don't have like the cool like, oh, I overtook two people in one corner thing. Like that doesn't happen to me. I just like happen to avoid people spinning out in front of me or something, and that's another thing I always encourage people to do is like just try to have a clean race because if you can just have a clean race, you can
Mm-hmm.
pick off everyone who, even if they're 2 seconds faster than you every lap. If they're 2 seconds faster than you and they spin out and they're out for 30 seconds trying to get back on track, like you still beat that person. So,
Yeah, true. That is super true. Clean racing is yeah, because doesn't matter if you're fast and then you mess up the next lap,
mhm.
everybody is gonna pass you anyway.
Yeah.
For your fastest Ferrari setup, visit bullissemma.racing. That's a
Um,
website. You're making it sounds like it's an ads for a setup shop as.
yeah, I definitely probably wouldn't trust my fries. I definitely have one to do. I'm trying to think of it right now because right now I'm so in the Mustang zone that I can't even remember what my brake bias was.
You can't even remember.
The most useful thing for the Ferrari for ACC that I can remember is to set your steering settings
Ratio?
to
No.
16. Yeah, the steering ratio to 16, and then your
Yeah.
wheel degrees to 800. That's what
Oh
I use.
yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think ACC has like a different wheel angle or wheel rotation kind of thing
It's
for each
very
lap.
car specific apparently. Like I really like
Uh
I
huh.
had to change around a lot for the Mustang, and I was like, wow, I can't get the car to turn in. And my friend was like, yeah, what's your wheel angle? And I was like, oh, it's 800. He was like, yeah, that's way too high. So there's like stuff you have to change. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not a pro. I don't sit like, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. I do tweak my setup as I go.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it, well, like when have been getting a certain lap time and then I'm not getting it anymore with the same setup and then it makes me mad, then I like change something kind of I do it a little bit too drastically, but I change something so just to get my brain in the mode of like I have to learn how to be fast again
Mm-hmm.
because it just helps me like if I, mess with the anti-roll bar or totally mess with the brake bias and then I have to like all of a sudden the car is not behaving the way it was before,
Mm-hmm.
it gets my brain into the sense of like, okay, you're still learning, like you have to get into like an absorption mode. So I usually do that, then get mad again and then switch back to my original setup and it kind of works.
Right. Wait, Jacob. Hey, by the way, hey, Jacob. I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. Hi, Jacob. Very nice to have you here today. Welcome to INIT Talks. So, you're saying the only race that ever truly matters is the one you run is against yourself. True. To be that
Yeah.
little bit better than you were yesterday. It's more
True.
like trying to beat yourself. That's how I feel. It's all in
Yeah.
your mind than
Like for the Ferrari
driving.
Esports Challenge,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing a hot lap challenge at Brands Hatch and ACC. And I was trying to break out of the 124s.
Mm-hmm.
I was at like a 124.00, sorry, 034, I think was
Oh,
my
yeah.
time.
Really
And I
close.
was so close. And I was gone visiting friends for like 4 days of it, so I didn't have time in the rig.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically learning ACC for the first time too. And I was like, I came back and I just drove for like hours and hours and hours until my brain just like melted. And I
Mm-hmm.
could not break the 24s. I didn't end up breaking it. And it was like, it was demoralizing for me. It was really tough. I was just like, wow, I'm just not even good enough to get in the 23s. Like, what the heck? And
Mm-hmm.
then one of my friends he is a new sports driver, and he was like, we literally, because I track all my times every day, I track my best time, and I
Mm-hmm.
would suggest if you're getting frustrated with sim racing, make a Google sheet and just put your best time every single day, and you will see your improvement. Because if you look at my sheet, even for this challenge, I was starting in the 208s. And that was literally the best I could do that day was a 208. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm in the 206s, and hoping to break the 205 soon.
Yeah.
And it's just, but to me, it doesn't feel like I've improved that much. But then I look at that timing sheet, and
You're
you have
actually
to look at your
making
improvement. Like even if you
progress.
didn't, yeah, if you didn't meet your goal, like I didn't break into the 123s, but I started at like a 127 or something. Managed to break it down. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to reevaluate. That's why it's good to have friends who race too, because they can kind of tell you like stop beating yourself up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like your friends can be like a really good mental coach, as in like, yeah, because your friends seeing everything like from outside the bubble. When you're like focusing on things, your friends can give you like an input, like, oh, you know what,
Mhm.
you're doing it wrong, you didn't realize that in that corner,
Yeah,
and it really boosts my
for
performance in sim racing, since I'm racing, or just even just driving around, just being silly, just like
mhm.
having like silly battle. It really boosts me a lot in sim racing.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends in my league who I was so frustrated with Coda. I was sector 3, I just could not get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had one of my friends hop on my onboard and watch, and he was like, "You just have to be more patient. You're just trying to rush it. You can't rush it. And it feels like you're going slower, but you're actually going faster." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, everyone says that." But
Mm-hmm.
then he was in my ear watching me do it, and he was like, "Don't, no throttle. Wait. Just keep waiting." And then finally it started coming together, and it was like, "Oh, you were right the whole time, but I wasn't gonna find it myself. I had to have someone else tell me."
Yeah, you need someone else to see from outside, to
Hmm.
spot like what are your weakness in the track. Because when you're driving, you'll be focusing on, oh yeah, I need to go to this corner, no off track. It depends on what are your goals on your driving, so
Yeah,
you
for
won't pay attention to some those details, I must say, to other details. Yeah.
yeah.
And by the way, speaking about the preparation going into this qualifying race, how is everything going with you? Are you ready? Nervous or?
Going. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the cool thing about I race every single week, different track. Like we do, my league does a different car every season and then different tracks all over the world. So
Mm-hmm.
I credit my league to helping me kind of be prepared to just jump into races
Mm-hmm.
because we only have like a week to prep and then we jump in the race and it's like full on. And there's some people in my league who are alien level. It's just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for this, it's like definitely, I kind of split my practice into qualifying practice and then race pace because for me, with ACC especially,
Mm-hmm.
like some days I'll get on ACC and my like I can do a 206.1 on Coda and then the next day the best I can do is like a 207.9. And I'm like, why? So it's all about like momentum. So I always practice qualifying laps first. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just a confidence thing in my brain or whatever, but as soon as I start setting the fast laps, then all of a sudden the time can come down. But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm just focusing on keeping it clean and like I just tend to go slower. So yeah, I've definitely been prepping more and then I
Mm-hmm.
would like AI races are sort of helpful for ACC. I do that a lot for the Ferrari Esports Challenge. Our race was at Spa,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to like relearn Spa because I had not raced it in a long time. Um, but it was just I had my qualifying pace and I knew what line I was supposed to do. But then you have to think about where people are going to try to overtake you. Are you ready to change your line if somebody's in the way of your racing line and stuff? So I'm just kind of starting into that practice and
Mm-hmm.
figuring it all out for Coda. But I've raced here a lot
Yeah.
before, and we did a GT4 series that went to Coda and AC, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of familiar with the dive bomb spots and all
The
that.
dive bomb spots at
Yeah,
Kota.
yeah.
I don't know.
So
I
it
feel
is
like
fun.
Kota is, to me, Kota is like the hardest track in United
It's really
States.
difficult.
Very
Hmm.
technical. Like I don't
Yeah.
get the groove around the track. I'm just okay at that track. I don't even consider myself fast. And
Yeah,
then.
I like my first sector is less than a tenth away from like a 204 lap, but
Mm-hmm.
then the rest of it is not. So
Yeah.
my focus has been definitely sector 2, sector 3 for sure.
Sector 3 is more technical, or at least for me, Sector 3 is my biggest weakness in
For
that
sure.
track. Like, oh god, I don't. And oh god, I'm wishing you good luck. Okay, I really hope you're winning it. You will win it, and you will represent United States in the Global Esports Game. I would
That'd be
love to
pretty
see it.
cool.
Oh my god.
We'll see what happens.
Oh my god, that would be like super cool. Okay, Ash, you got another question. Can Emma tell us her least favorite track in ACC and why is it Alton Park? She hasn't answered yet, Ash. No.
I actually like old.
See?
But but to be fair, I haven't raced in GT3s. We did a
Uh-huh.
TCR series, and I think we also did an MX5 series. I liked it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It was definitely frustrating, but the races were fun. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I haven't done GT3s on a ton of tracks on ACC. I've pretty much only done Misano,
Uh-huh.
um, Monza, Spa, and Coda, Brands Hatch, and then a couple other ones. But I literally had to download all of the DLC for the Ferrari Esports series because I didn't have it. So I was really happy to find that I actually had the American track pack for this one. So sorry I can't give you a better answer. But oh, wait, that's a lie. My least favorite track is Paul Ricard, 100%. I
Oh
forgot
my
that was there.
god. I
I
had
hate
this conversation everywhere and seems like everybody agree with you with me and yeah, everybody said like Paul
Yeah,
Ricard is
that was the LFM like license track when I was trying to do LFM, and I was like, how can I be really fast at brands and then just can't even qualify for LFM at Paul Ricard? It made me so mad. So
no, it's French car park. I don't know, it's
yeah,
so weird.
it is.
It's so confusing. I'm sorry, but if anyone here likes Paul Ricard, but yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just let's say I'm so sucks at it. I'm sucks at
Yeah,
it.
I'm not good at it at all. I haven't even tried it since it was just embarrassing. I was like, wow, I'm so bad at this.
I think in GT3 you can be like under 2 minutes. The what's the fast lap time in Paul Ricard? But yeah, it's
I
like
don't remember. I don't even remember what my times were at Paul Ricard.
yeah, I
Either
don't even remember. I only raced in
it
ACC.
was so bad that when I looked it up, it like didn't even come up as a remotely possible time that people were getting, and I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna look at this anymore.
The worst French Grand Prix track. Is that
Yeah,
track still exists? I mean I think people still drive in Paul Ricard for endurance or something, right? I think
I don't know about endurance, but yeah, I know people who have actually driven that track in real life. I don't have any
yeah.
to do
Is
that.
that track is still active technically? And maybe we don't need to tell iRacing that Paul Ricard exists, so they won't add Paul Ricard to the track. And I hope, or probably in ACCFO, we won't have Paul Ricard.
I definitely.
I'm so,
But a lot of people
153.
don't like Coda either. I mean, I've been to the Formula One race at Coda. I went in 2018, so I got to see Kimi Raikkonen's last win in person, which is my
What?
big goal for that. And
Oh my god.
it's an awesome track to watch a race at. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, now it's a lot more crowded. In 2018, it was like pre-Drive to Survive, so I
Mm-hmm.
remember I walked up to the fan zone. I was 30 minutes before the autograph session and I was front row, and so I got Fernando Alonso's autograph, just like
What?
barely had to wait. I was at the airport with Stoffel Van Dorn when he was racing for McLaren. He was just chilling. Nobody knew who he was. I was behind Lucio Ribabene in the TSA line.
What?
He got dropped off in a Ferrari as I was leaving right in front of me, and my dad was so jealous because he wasn't on the same flight as me. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go hang out with the Ferrari team. Not like that anymore. I haven't even been to Coda since then. I've been to IMSA races, and even IMSA races are getting super packed. I went to Daytona and I went to Petit Le Mans, and
Oh my god, I'm so jealous of you now.
didn't even do the grid walks the past couple times because they're so packed now. But it's cool because motorsport's definitely catching on, which is good. But
Which is
it
good.
was kind
I
of
love
nice.
seeing it like
Like,
grow, you know, like
yeah.
grow even bigger and bigger. Cause I like the hype and everything. Every time I'm going to a racetrack, like, oh my god, it's so hype.
Oh yeah.
Let's get a
So
merch, you know.
like Daytona, my friend had a spot in the Porsche club, so we like got to hang out with all the Porsche people and just like
Oh wow.
see everything. And we were right next to the track.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. But personally, my favorite is Petit Le Mans in
Oh yeah.
Atlanta.
Is
So
is
fun.
it worth it to
12
go?
hours. Yes, absolutely. It's a
Mm.
12-hour endurance race. And actually, the first time I went was with my racing league. A bunch of us decided to go to the race together. So I met them all in real life and we just had like a
Oh.
blast at Petit Le Mans. And now we go every year. So we're
Oh my god.
going to see you there.
I wanna go to Petit Le Mans too.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I won it. I think I only went to one IMSA race in Road America. I was still
Mm.
living in Chicago back then, so it was an okay trip to Wisconsin. But now I live in California. The only option for me is going to Long Beach or going to Sonoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you've been to Daytona 24
Yep.
before?
Mhm.
Oh God. How was it?
It was, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I like Petit Le Mans better.
Mm-hmm.
Because Petit, you can stay up for the whole race. It's 12 hours, so you can just like be part of it all.
Oh,
And
right.
Daytona is cool. Like it's definitely a different atmosphere, and it's like kind of amazing. I've never been to Daytona before, and I can't imagine what it's like for the Daytona 500 because
Mm-hmm.
it has got to be crazy for the Daytona 500. It was like just seeing how many empty seats there were for the Rolex 24
Mm-hmm.
compared to Daytona sold out every year, the Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. It was a really fun time, but I have to say, like, I was less focused on the racing at Daytona and was more focused on like walking around and like doing stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
Petite, like, you can't escape the racing, and there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
really cool technical points on track where you can just kind of see all the action.
Oh,
So
I
I love
bet.
it.
I bet. And especially like you have the GT3 GTP racing in Road Atlanta. Oh my God. It's
Yeah. I actually
crazy.
went to the Ferrari Challenge race at Road Atlanta as well, and
Oh yeah.
it was
Oh.
not very packed at all. It was very empty, and I actually got to sit in a couple of Ferraris because I just ended up talking to the Ferrari people. They had a Puro Sangue there, so I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is really cool. And so it was definitely a different vibe though. Like it really wasn't all about like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just a different vibe. So I like
Right,
IMSA racing
right.
better, but it was cool. Like it was really cool to see the Ferrari Challenge in person, and
Mm-hmm.
being around Ferraris is always cool. So.
The real race is the MX5 in IMSA. Yeah, I must say the real race is the
Watching
MX5.
the MX5 races is terrifying. Like I don't
Oh
know
my God.
how those guys do it, and it is crazy. Like the bumper to like they're just yeah, I couldn't do it. That would freak me out. And I would also immediately wreck out the person behind me because they'd be trying to draft me and I would brake too early and just take it.
Oh no. The MS5 is going like six wide into turn one. Yeah, I mean, oh my God. At first, when I first watching the MX5 at Daytona, honestly, I was quite skeptical because okay, MX5, okay, let's see what we got. And I think it was like 40 minutes race, I believe, in Daytona MX5, and it was like full of like drafting, close racing, and I was like, wow, I changed my mind. I'm
Yeah.
humbled, bro.
We also
MX5.
have I think it's at Rhode Island too, 24 hours of lemons where
Mm-hmm.
you have to have your car has to be under $500 and you
Mm-hmm.
just race. That one seems fun. I haven't been to it, but a couple of my friends wanted to actually do the race. And I was like, look, I like sim racing. I don't really think I'm gonna get in a real car, especially
Uh-huh.
a $500 car, and actually race people, but people love it. So
I would love to. Low key, I want to get into that. Low key, I
it's
wanna do lemons.
yeah, people make some amazing cars. They decorate them really cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Know how the actual racing is because half the time you're just trying to keep your car alive till the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to keep your car alive. True. And Ash, guess what? Yeah, you're saying, by the way, you're saying like, yeah, this MX5 going six wide into turn one in Daytona, and you should see the MX5 going five wide into the SS at the Glen. Oh my God.
Mm,
It's just
yeah.
crazy. I love watching the MX5 race, but I don't like driving the MX5 because I'm bad at
Yeah.
it.
It's like I said, like it was fun. Our league did spec we did spec Miatas and then we did MX5 Cup cars or something. And it was fun when my league was doing it because everyone like I don't know, because I know all of them and we all just have a good time all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
iRacing like it's a lot more by yourself and all of my league buddies are like have an insane I rating and I'm just like I haven't even attempted to work on my I rating because that's what kind of stresses me out about iRacing. I was like, I don't want to do bad in the race and ruin my I rating. They're like, don't even think about it. Just race
Right.
and the I rating will come later, but it still stresses me out. So
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it sometimes, and I'm still like sometimes I get mad about it. Like, it's not like I'm mad. I'm feeling mad to other people, but it's more like, how can I be this sucks? I can do better. It's that feeling sometimes.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Like I'm
Yeah.
blaming myself. Like if I'm like losing a lot, I'll be like, okay, else your sucks. Like, but
Yeah, it's really easy to get into, like, I was in a pretty negative mindset 2 days ago with my hot lapping time. I
mm-hmm,
literally thought I was never going to break in the 206s. I was like, I can't do it.
mm-hmm.
I'm stuck. I can't do it. And then I got a 206.9, and then the next day I got a 206.7, the next day a 206.5. And
Nice.
just have to keep, sometimes you do need to step away. You have to just step away from your rig for a minute and take a breather and come back. Because if you're driving really angry, it's not really gonna
Yeah,
work.
true. Actually, I took a coaching session lately. Like
Mhm.
I just wanna get good in driving the Porsche Cup. That's why I took the coaching session. And this is what I learned from my coach. Instead of like you actually pushing yourself after this coaching session, why don't you take a break, go to sleep, come back later, come
Hmm.
back in the morning. I
For sure.
tried to follow that and I improved more than when I was like pushing myself real hard. Really.
Yeah. Because really, I mean, racing is just such a, like I said, it's like learning a language. So you have to give your brain can't process it. Like sleep helps your brain process it. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in the background that
Mm-hmm.
you're not really paying attention to. Because I try to push it. When I was driving Brands Hatch, I was driving it like 4 hours a day trying to get a better time, and it was
Right.
not good. I just couldn't get better because I just was pushing too much.
Hi, Luca. Hi, hi. No, you're not late. We're having a chat, but I think we're all maybe like we're like 15, 20 minutes done because Emma, our guest, is currently on her lunch break. So we're like
Yeah.
kidnapping Emma for this podcast. So she got to go get back to work after this. So, but you're not late. You're not late. You still have time to hang out here. By the way, hi Luca. Very nice to have you here. Meet Emma, the driver for the US online qualifier for the upcoming Global Esports Games. Hi Luca. Hi hi. So Emma, by the way, speaking about the racetrack, we talk about IMSA. We talk about IMSA, Daytona, Road Atlanta, everything. Then it got me thinking, what are your favorite tracks in real life and why? Other than
Um,
attending the event, let's talk about the track itself.
I don't know. I think, I mean, this is going to sound really cliche, but I really like Monaco
Mm,
just for the history of Monaco, but also when you do a really good lap around Monaco, it's a pretty cool feeling.
great.
Um, so Monaco is probably one, and then I haven't been to though. But my favorite track that I've ever been to probably is Monza. Um,
Oh, wow. Why?
going to Monza is really cool, and if you ever go, you can go to the old banking. And I went to the old banking, and
Oh my god.
um,
The
yeah, I
old
was with.
banking.
It's really cool. Um, so yeah, that would be probably my two favorite European tracks. Sorry, but but yeah.
Have you ever been to any F1 race in the Europe or not yet?
Not in Europe. I was funny story. I was my friend. I have friends in Italy who live in Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my friend Lux is the one who drew the Monza poster for Ferrari this for the past race. Um,
Wow.
so Lux and I hang out all the time whenever I go to Italy, and
So cool.
uh, they took me to Monza. I've been to Monza twice now. Yeah,
Oh
twice.
yeah?
And
Wow.
it's just been really cool. So I'm always invited to Monza, but I haven't been able to go.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
did ask if I could go hang out in the Ferrari
Ah.
hospitality with Lux this past time, but obviously that didn't happen. Yeah, and then I have friends who live by Zandvoort and stuff. So I have friends around. I just have to like
Just give a
make it
call.
out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
make a plan and visit.
because it's actually like I went to Coda. I don't mind saying this. When I went to Coda in 2018, I bought tickets, 3 day tickets that were at turn 15, like
Mm-hmm.
where all the battles are happening. And we got to see a Bruno Mars concert, and it was $500 for the whole weekend. And now those same seats are $1,600 just for one day.
Wow. Oh
So
yeah,
it's
that's
unaffordable in the US, which I really hate.
mm-hmm. Right.
So it's actually cheaper to go to Europe, to fly to Europe and then go to a race and come back than it is to just get tickets in the US. So my
Yeah.
next race will be a European race unless I get invited to a US race to go for free, because otherwise I'm not paying. Sorry.
Yeah, the price is crazy. And you're right. I feel like it's cheaper for us right now to travel to Europe and get the F1 ticket. Because, one, there's a lot of race in the Europe, more than the United States. And there are
Hmm.
like a lot of, or there are some tickets that is affordable. I think Zandvoort is one of them, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Zandvoort is
I
one of the.
I know Monza is actually pretty affordable still. Like they're upping the prices a little bit every year, but yeah, this year my friends were like, "Oh my gosh, Monza's so expensive. It's like
Mhm.
250 € for the weekend." And I was like,
Wait
"I
till you
wish."
see. Wait till you
So,
see Texas, Vegas. I don't know about Miami. I'm not sure about Miami. If
Miami,
Miami.
Miami was pretty expensive. I had
Oh
friends who
yeah.
went to the very first Miami race.
Mhm. Mhm.
They I could have bought a ticket for $800 for the whole weekend, but I was like,
Wow.
I don't really
Yeah.
like going to Florida in general, so
Mhm.
sorry.
Las Vegas Grand Prix is out then.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm having a mixed feeling about the Las Vegas. Okay. First of all, I know everybody been complaining about the policy and everything that is going on in Vegas during the race weekend, which everybody hates that, which I understand that, but the race itself was actually pretty good. The race was kind of like paid off to me at this last year. So I don't know, but this year, quite hoping for
Yeah.
it.
I just wish that Formula One wasn't getting so
Mm-hmm.
prohibitive for everyone. It's just like, I don't know, but then it is like weird. Like going to the race at Coda was super fun and it was like an absolute blast, but
Mm-hmm.
I still like watching it at home because you get all the action. I mean, our seats even had like the big screen, so we could pretty
Right.
much watch the whole thing
But
on
it's
screen.
different. At
It's
least
definitely
for
different.
me, going to a racetrack is like feels like going to Disneyland. It's more like the experience, like you're walking from even from the parking lot to the entrance, and then like you walk around. I know, yeah, I know. Like yeah, we will see more action on TV, but sometimes I like to go to racetrack to listen to the sound of the car, like
Yeah, the sound is cool. There's
yeah.
nothing like the
Mhm.
sound.
Like sometimes I'm just like I don't know, I just want to sit down and like oh my god, just enjoy the car goes fast, you know?
Oh yeah, that's what Daytona is really cool for that because
Oh my
you
god.
just can't watch it for 24 hours straight like some people do. But we were just like sitting in lawn chairs, like
Mm-hmm. Oh
hanging
yeah.
out, and cars are just like flying by. But you get super dirty because
Oh.
like rubber's flying off the track and you don't even see it. And then by the end of the day, you're like wiping your face off and it's all black.
Oh my
So
god. Oh my
it's
god,
cool.
intermezzo. First of all, Jean, thank you so much for subscribing to our channel to INIT Esports. Thank you so much. Love you. I really appreciate you. And second, Taylor Mills. Thank you so much. Oh my god, Taylor. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my god. We hit 50 viewers here. Oh my god, I'm super happy. Oh my god. Very nice to have you all here today. Meet my new friend Emma. Oh my god. Hi everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Taylor, for trusting your community to this channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And hello everyone. Welcome to INIT Talks. Oh my god, we're having a chat with Emma right now. Hey! Hi hi! Oh my god, how's it going you guys? How's it going? So, we are having a chat about basically right now we're having Emma as our guest and we're having a chat about ACC F1. Well, now we're talking about the F1 race. So I hope you guys really enjoy your time here. Okay, enjoy your time here, you all. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. By the way, oh my god, I got distracted. But thank you so much again for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. So Emma, by the way, speaking about your goal, do you? What are your goals? Do you wanna be a race car driver one day,
Um,
or
no,
do you
that's not.
wanna
I
be?
I started sim racing just because
Mm-hmm.
I saw it as a completely new challenge, and I just wanted to prove to myself that I can learn something completely new.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter how old you are when you start, you can still beat. My dad could probably still beat me on a track, and he has been playing Gran Turismo on controller since like the PlayStation 2 days.
Wow.
Um, And it's just like there's so many people. It's like I feel like there's so many barriers to entry in sim racing, and I just kind of wanted to show that it doesn't matter when you start, as long as you dedicate time to it and enjoy it, like you can get anywhere. So my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to be, I mean, obviously I want to win. There's
Mm-hmm.
no question, but I want to win on my terms, having documented the whole journey to get there, just to kind of I don't know how long it's going to take. I remember when I first started, I was like, I wanted to be a Formula One esports like world champion, and now I'm like, Jarno Otmir pretty much has that one down, so he can do that. I will stick to what I'm doing, and if I can win a race in my league, I'll be set. That would be a pretty cool thing for me.
Maybe you will win the woman division in the
Yeah,
qualifying race. We never
see.
know, right?
So
Maybe you will
yeah,
get your win
yeah,
in few days from now, right? I think the race will be on 21st, right? On the
yeah,
21st and
yeah. That's
22nd, something like that. So,
definitely have stuff to do to get there. We'll see.
counting days. Oh my god. Oh my god. I really hope you're going to at least have a good result, And I'm wishing you having a good time. That's the
Thank
most
you. Yeah,
important thing.
it's been really cool so far, and it's cool. The esports community is small, but it's a really good community to be part of. So
Mm-hmm.
you can really do a lot with it. Like that's what's been so cool for me is like I never have a problem reaching out to people. So
Mm-hmm.
like I've talked to the Ferrari esports team. I've talked to the Porsche esports people. Like just because I reached out and was like, hey, this is cool. I'm not any good, but I'd love to talk to you guys. People are down for it. So yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of opportunities. And we'll see
Right.
if I can make it a little bit more worth their while trying to get it. We'll see.
You know what? Sometimes you just have to. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Sometimes you just have to ask, or you just have
Mhm.
to start the conversation. Sometimes
Absolutely.
people are. Sometimes people are. Well, I myself feeling nervous too sometimes when I'm
Mhm.
about to talk to big people in motorsport. But people are very nice. People are very welcoming. If even if you're a newbie in this motorsport, like don't be afraid. Sometimes you just have to ask questions. Don't be afraid
Definitely.
to ask questions and reach out.
Hmm. You can always ask. I even have a little story about this. So
Oh.
that's a signed Sebastian Vettel driver card from when he drove for Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he sent it to me in the mail because he used to have like an address where you could just write him like a letter or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was retiring. So my friends and I were just like, oh, we'll just write Sebastian a letter. So I just wrote him a letter and I was like, hey, like, it was so great to watch you race in 2018. Like, I wish I would have been able to get your autograph from Ferrari, but I never had the chance because I was too busy doing other stuff. But the Ferrari fan zone was packed, whatever. And then, like, 3 months later, he sent Aston Martin driver cards, but he also included a Ferrari driver card. So he actually read the letter and saw that I didn't get his signature when he drove for Ferrari, so he
Oh.
sent me that. So you always
Aw.
just have to ask, and you never
True.
know what's gonna happen.
True. You have to ask, and it's free. It costs you nothing
Mhm.
to ask question,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. All the
Did
coolest things that have ever happened in my life, I just asked for them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, don't worry, trust me, guys. Even though that you guys see me every week or almost every day I'm streaming and you can see that I'm like, hey, everyone, no, no, no. But in real life, I feel nervous a lot. Like, oh God, I'm nervous of this, nervous of that. But I'm learning today from Emma. Like, yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. If Emma can do it, we can do it.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely, if I could do it, you guys could do it. Trust
Yeah.
me.
And again, by the way, guys, if you guys active on TikTok, feel free to give Emma and INIT Esports a follow on TikTok because yeah, we'll be posting like a lot of video, more like a video on TikTok. Well, on Instagram also for us on INIT Esports and Screen to Speed. But if you want to follow Emma's journey in sim racing, you can find her on TikTok at bellissima.racing. Did Emma race in the F1 Screen to Speed series? No, I don't think Emma was racing in F1 series. No.
Nope. And this is only the second, like, actual, well, I guess third
Mm-hmm.
actual competition thing that I've ever done.
Right, so the USAF qualifier is the third boom event. I'm wishing you tons of luck. Oh my god. Honestly, I'm sucks at quali. So if there is like a competition that requires you to do the online quali, I'm like 70% I'm not gonna qualify. I'm more like focus on consistency instead of like
Yeah.
pushing the car, you know.
Hmm.
So
For sure.
for
Yeah.
everyone who passed the qualifying, you guys are so fantastic.
It's a completely different mindset. And there's a lot of people like that's what my friends always tell me, like, yeah, there's always gonna be people who are super fast hot lappers, but it doesn't mean they know how to race. So you just
Yeah,
have to practice everything.
true. I guess you need to find like what are your weakness and what are your greatness, as in like what are you good at. And to me, I like to maximize what I'm good at and compromise a bit on my weakness, you know? Like, yeah. It's more
Yeah.
like trying to find a balance instead of like trying to be good at everything. I like to focus on, yeah, my race pace in this case.
And I'd also say, like, when you're just starting out, you still have to figure out the fundamentals. But at some point, you do get to your own driving style where other people's advice won't actually help you get faster.
Mm-hmm.
Take it with a grain of salt because a lot of times people are telling you the right thing to do. But there's been times where one of my friends who is like a professional esports person that watched me do a line and he was like, I didn't even know you could do that line, but it's actually just fast, so keep doing it, I guess. So you can always figure out your own thing.
Right. I hear Vettel could be coming back to F1. I saw like some posts on internet a bit about Vettel, but I don't know if he's gonna make a comeback to motorsport or something.
I think I think I could see him coming back to motorsport, but I don't know about F1. I feel like
Mm.
F1's just such a different sport now that I
Ah,
don't know, it's
right. I get you on that. I hope to see Emma around in as many of the SDS series as she can do. I'm into that, Luca. I'm in. Emma is really fantastic. If you're on TikTok, again, give her a follow.
thanks guys, I appreciate it. I
Mm-hmm.
actually do have to run. I just got an email that I have to respond to though.
Right.
But
Okay, so let's say we are down to the last question now. All right. So, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna pick the last question from the chat. Okay, so we can feel more relatable. Hi Luca. So F1 ACC. So what other platforms do you race? And is okay. I will add that to another. I will add the question from Luca. So if there's like one sim that you want to master, you want to be very good at it, what would it be?
um well, this is gonna sound bad because it's the one I'm least experienced with, but iRacing. Because everything is moving towards iRacing now. And I feel like I kind of missed the boat on ACC. ACC used to be like, I feel like the top thing that everyone was driving, but now it seems like esports teams in general are like moving towards iRacing.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have to get into that. So if I could master any, it would be that. But also, an unrelated sim, but Richard Burns Rally, which like only exists on the nooks and crannies of the internet now. If I could ever be good at that, I would be really proud of myself. But rally is very difficult and a completely different ball game. But
Right. I'm really looking forward to see you joining iRacing for sure. Like, yeah.
yeah.
So whenever you're getting your subscription on iRacing and you feel like you wanna race, feel free to reach out to us on Discord at INIT Esports. So maybe we can like, I don't know, even just having like a fun lobby with friends, like having fun being silly around. Yeah,
Yeah,
we always welcome you, by the way.
thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to do something like that because iRacing is just a lot more lonely of a sim for me. So I'd
You
love
won't
to.
feel lonely anymore. Don't worry. You will find, because in it is sport. I can say like our player base is really big in iRacing, so you won't feel lonely. We will.
Yeah.
You will find. You will always find like someone to play with in iRacing.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely hit you up then.
Yeah. By the way, guys, guess what? Emma. So again, Luca. We kidnapped Emma. So she's like in the middle of lunch break, and instead of having lunch, she's having a podcast with us. But
Totally.
now I have to let her go because you need to get back to work, right? It's not
I
even the
do.
weekend yet.
Yeah,
Thank you so
unfortunately.
much, Emma. Thank you so much for your
Sure.
time today. Thank you,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, and thank you, everyone. I appreciate all your time and questions. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, thank you. Quick, Emma go eat can run on an empty stomach. Yeah, we need to let Emma go. Guys, thank you so much for hanging today. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the rate and everything. I love you guys so much. And yeah, I will see you. Not I, but we'll see you. We'll see you on the next episode of INIT Talks. Okay. Yes, this is my last one, so I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm signing off from INIT Talks, but it was a really nice talk to having Emma as the guest. But yeah, I'm wishing you all the best and yeah, bye bye everyone. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Emma. Bye
You
bye.
guys, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Love you guys.